I've often brought up how my hair is actually naturally frizzy hair, but I have brushed it down straight my entire life. Now, of course, this wasn't the case when I was a baby, because I have baby hair. And there's photos of me on social media, and I was blonde. I was. There's actually a photo of myself and my twin sister. We were two very blonde babies. Okay, extremely blonde, like the Von Dutch children. It's a joke. Don't take that the wrong way, because our last name is Fleming, and Flemings are either blonde or black. Yeah. I don't think there's much in between when it comes to brown. I'm trying to think what Sky's. I think Sky's got that gypsy sort of armody flakes for her hair. Like, yeah, Sky Sheridan Fleming, my younger sister. She's very similar to Amanda and myself. I look at Sky and she has similar features to Amanda in some ways, but then Sky has the Fleming hair, so she's very lucky. She hasn't got the thin hair. She's got the thick hair. But Sky was born a blonde baby with very fine blonde hair. You can see that on her first birthday. So it's the photo that's taken at the back of Hillcrest Road, Empire Bay, for Dad's 40th birthday, which was taken in December 1996. You can see Auntie Sandra's in the photo. It goes Dad. Dad's holding Sky Sheridan Fleming, my younger sister, as a 1-year-old, because there's only one day apart between Dad and Sky. Behind the pole, you're going to see Auntie Sandra standing there, Dad's older sister. And then towards the end of the photo, you'll see our cousin-in-law, Darren LeMay, so Sandra's son-in-law, basically. And anyway, so yeah, Amanda, my twin sister, and myself, we were blonde. We were really blonde babies. I don't dye my hair black. Okay, I was only a blonde baby. Now, there's a photo of myself where I've actually, you can see, it must have been about 3 or 4, and you can see, when your hair starts growing out, and my baby hair was growing out, and I had this line of black here. So I have blonde and black. So you can see my hair was going to be black. Yeah, black. I was only about 3 years old then. Anyway, as I grew up, and we were still living in Dunsmore Street, the property in Dunsmore Street. So we had a horse stud there. My hair became frizzy. Became wavy and frizzy, which is very much like the Fleming side of the family. I mean, Nan, Ruby Jean Hill, which is Ruby Fleming, she had curly hair. My grandfather, Stanley Fleming, he had frizzy, untamable hair. Very coarse, untamable hair to the day he died. Black, jet black. So there is a lot of... So there's either dead straight on the Fleming side, like dead straight hair, or there is frizzy hair and untamable hair. Which I got the frizziness, but not the thickness. So it's thin, frizzy hair. So I used to get it straightened. I did. Frank Red Your Hair and Beauty straightened it for me. That used to be in Cleveland Street, Surrey Hills, just before Crown. But what I'm getting to, so Big Nan. So I'm at Nan and Pops in Kerry Road, and Regional. They're like, "Oh, Justin, put a comb for that bird's nest." I'm like, "I can't help it. It keeps frizzing up." So Big Nan gave me this coarse brush. I've talked about it for years. She gave me this coarse brush to brush my hair down with when I was a little kid. It's a coarse brush from Big Nan. So my hair, I'm doing it. I've just straightened it. So I would get up every morning. I always had long hair. I had different variations. In the 80s, I had a fantastic mullet. I had the 90s, I had that very sort of long hair down here, parted in the center. Just different. Like Dad had long hair. Dad had very, not long, dirty, yucky, just nice maintained hair. It was vegetable. So, right. Okay. So, yeah. Now, when I got, like, you can see this photos of me when I was mugged after work at the casino. And my hair was, like, really, like, buffy. And it is this buffy hair. So I used to wake up and brush my hair with a coarse brush. This one, I'm going to do it now because I've just feel relaxed now and I can air. It's all wet and oily. And that's the other thing too. So it was Vaseline oil, Brill cream back in those days. I don't use Brill cream now, I use other creams. But it was Vaseline oil, Brill cream, gel, plaster it down, and then hairspray it. Never moved. Didn't move. But my hair naturally is just frizzy, wavy hair, naturally. But if you ever look at the Fleming side, you'll see that in it. And I mean, I can show photos, and I have shown photos. Literally, I've had people look at my social media, and they're like, "Oh, he's got other children on his like." It was a bit sick, actually, what people were saying. It's very sick because they thought I had other children on my social media. It's like, no, that's me. That's me as a kid. I used to have a mole here, and actually, here. Let me zoom the camera in. You'll see the scar. So if you have a look right in here, I had a mole there. That mole was removed in 1992. Still got my other moles here, down here. And it was removed then. Vanity, basically. So yeah. But this is just rubbish. This is rubbish because I played a prank on idiots in 2016 as well because of the monitoring and surveillance stuff. I would love to go back to 2015. When was I the happiest time in my life? When I was single in 2015. When I brought my dog and moved my dog to my apartment in Rushcross Bay and I was single, living there in Rushcross Bay by myself. Happiest time of my life has always been living in the city. There was nothing wrong. This all started because some idiots were making up stories that I was suicidal. And it's all to do with, I don't know, their own game. Never been suicidal in my life. Thanks very much. And by the way, in 2017 and 2018, people had information related to Daniel Rackley. So Daniel Rackley is my stepbrother. Search him, social media. I actually shared his post to my social media account, or even the current one I've got that no friends or followers on. And that's because people kept having us confused. Certain people must be coming from Tamworth, and they had me pegged as being someone that was a cannabis smoker. I'm like, no, I've always been anti-cannabis. I had me pegged for being more like a Mark Rackley and Daniel Rackley. Excuse me. And I'm like, no. And I looked on Daniel Rackley's social media after some organisations kept harassing me and thought I was some broke, poor person with no money, homeless. And this was in 2016. I'm like, no. So this is what happened. So Giovanni was, and that idiots couldn't work it out because like, but he's working. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I was on part salary payment, but I still have my savings. And this is where it all came about. So I had, what was the name? Danielle Cannon or some bull name. And she was there. Like, I'm like, Danielle, I don't know what you've been told. She's from Acon. I'm like, but it's not true. I mean, I'm in the middle of packing up to move to the US. I'm buying a place there. She goes, oh, what are you going to use? I'm like, my savings. I've still got like close to 200,000 in the bank, which is like perked up. I shouldn't have said anything. And it's like, well, I should have a lot more than that. I mean, I did sell my investment property for 189,000. And idiots didn't realize this, and they thought I was making it up and thought I was mentally retarded. I'm like, no, I almost owned my investment property outright, and I sold it back in 2008. I didn't sell it because I needed to. I sold it because I wanted to. It was 16 Scott Road. It was like on a bypass area, but it was really good rent, and I would never live in it. But you know, it was problematic because my mother lived in the area. My mother kept throwing her weight around. She'd be like, oh, I went past the place. I'm like, can you not? Because you're not legally allowed to, Carol. And myself as a landlord, like knowing the landlord laws. So that's the thing where I was very respectful of landlord laws. I've never had a landlord being respectful towards me. And I'm like, I have to give notice if I'm even going to drive past Scott's Road in case the tenants are out the front of the place and they say Justin's prying. Because I read up the landlord laws back when I became a landlord in 2003. I was a really good landlord, and literally that was actually brought up to once. The real estate agent, which was was it PRD Realty? Was it Ray White was one of them. I changed to PRD Realty, I think it was. Said, Justin, you're in Tamworth, so I'm coming up for a holiday. She goes, did you just drive past Scott's Road? I'm like, I did. I'm like bypass wide, like because the tenants just complained they saw your car, because my car, like the Alfa Romeo, had stuck out like a sore thumb. I was like, oh look, I'm not. And they're like, you know that you're not meant to be in the facility of the area there without giving notice, because the tenants are going to view that as you're spying on them. So you can't actually do that as a landlord. And in Sydney they do it. It's like, so this is actually, and this happened. You know, so I'm like, okay, look, I'm sorry. So I used to ring up all the time and say, look, I'm just letting you know I'm coming to Mum's for a holiday. So in case, you know, I drive into Scott's Road, the road that where my house is on, I'm not driving past my house to check on it. I'm using that as the bypass. I actually used to say that. I kid you not, because you're not legally allowed to be in the facility to spy on your tenants. That's a criminal offence. Okay, they can take you to tribunal for that. So the real estate agent that was looking after my property was really good for the tenant, not for the landlord. And I've never had that in Sydney ever. Like literally, I'll be back in Sydney renting a place. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, here I am getting blasted by the real estate agent, and I'm the landlord, and they're going, "Did you just drive past Scott's Road?" Like, I did, yes. Well, you meant to notify us if you're in Tamworth because of that in the landlord laws. I'm like, okay. And then in Sydney, it's like you're the landlord that just spies on you. It's like, this is fucking ridiculous. And they break laws. You can't, so you basically cannot be in the facility of your rental property without giving notice to real estate first. So that way your tenants are aware that you might be in the area in case that, so you have to, like, it's the whole thing. You got to give notice about checking on the place, notice before doing inspections. It has to be a reasonable amount of time. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to be here next week and so forth. So yeah, I was actually a really good landlord to the people. Anyway, those tenants that did that, they weren't there long. The tenant I had after that was a plasterer, and he was really nice. So that one, who actually said that, I actually did walk through the place once I was up there, and I said, I want to go walk through the place and have a look how the place is, because I had it all freshly painted. And I walked through, and the tenants were there, and they actually had a dog, and they're like, oh, sorry, you got no dogs on the lease? I'm like, I had no idea that, because I'm fine with you having the dog inside. So I was actually really nice to them as well, because I actually walked through. I'm like, I had no idea that the real estate agent said no pets. I've never said no pets. I'm a dog person, so I would never say no pets, and I didn't care. But I walked through, and the place was still maintained, but they still moved out, so I wanted to rent up. And the person that came in was a plasterer, and he was really nice. And I think his wife just had a baby, and the bathroom had it had a big bath with a glass shower like screen in it, so was in there anyway. They cracked the shower screen. They said, and I said, look, that's fine. That accidents happen. I'll replace it. And he said, oh, look, can we just have a curtain, because it's easier for, I think, his wife to get the baby out of the bath. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I was like, that works better. It means I don't have to replace a whole shower screen. Not a problem. And then I sold the place in 2008. So I had, like, the tenants after that were actually really nice. It was a lot of communication. Actually, I think the first one, that's why I changed. PRD Realty was nice. Ray White was the arsehole. Hang on, I can think, remember, it was the guy. Yeah, because that's why I changed the real estate agents to renting my property. And that's why the other tenants left. Because Ray White was the fucking arseholes that called me in a hot summer to go off that the air conditioner wasn't working in the place. And like, Justin, we have a heat wave up here, and they're going off their head at me that have got no air conditioning, right? So meanwhile, I'm struggling in Sydney with no air conditioning, and my tenants actually have full air conditioning and so forth. So I send the air conditioning guy out there, more bills, and there was nothing wrong with the air conditioner. It was just a fucking heat wave, basically. To remind them to close the windows when they've got the air conditioning on, so the hot air doesn't circulate. Oh yeah. No, I had an investment property for years, so that investment property made me good money. Because when I brought it cheap, and I put the rent up like to normal market rent. So the rent was covering the mortgage, and I wanted to pay extra mortgage. So say my mortgage was, we're talking like 20 odd years ago. So say my mortgage was $250 a week. I paid $300 a week. And that little extra had me, by the time I'd, wanted to sell the place, I had little mortgage to pay. So when I sold it, basically, it was just like this a sitting money maker, and I sold it for $189,000. So I was like, oh, well, that can go in the bank account. So I'm not selling it for any reason except I don't want it there. It's just annoying. It was annoying for me to have, and I thought next time I'll do what Dad said. Mind you, and I'll tell you why I was really annoyed with having it, because before I was mugged after work, November 30th, 2007, I brought my dream home. Couldn't believe it. Actually, I've got the documents of it somewhere as well. Finally, after having an investment property so long, living in rentals for so fucking long, I'm living in Surrey Hills. I was looking on the coast. I just wanted the beach house. Just looking like a good size. I'm really pedantic. And I love the hills around near Dad's. And there's the stilt houses. So if you go up Timbertop Drive, Umina Heights, and I looked at Timbertop Drive, and then the place I was looking at was stunning. Oh God, it was beautiful. The first place, it was all renovated. It was stunning. I was like, oh, it's a bit too much mortgage to pay on top of my investment property. So then there was the one down in front, and I just stumbled across it, and it was perfect. It was 52 Lentara Drive in Umina Heights, and it was perfect. It was 5 bedrooms. And I know, a single gay man, what are you going to do with 5 bedrooms? Well, let me explain to you. So the 3 bedrooms upstairs were getting, oh God, I've got to talk about this house because this was my dream home. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, fuck, I was able to. So I increased my mortgage. I purchased a place. I didn't think that the offer that I put to them would be accepted because the condition report came back really bad when I did the pest control and everything. Like the trees had to be cut down and so forth. There was a drop, like when you open the laundry door, there was a drop outside. Like it was actually like shit. Like there was stuff that really had to be done in the place, but only if you move in a family into it. So all the people that were looking at it with kids were like, holy shit, that laundry door goes to nothing. So if you open the laundry door that's meant to have a staircase leading outside, there was nothing there except for a drop like 2 floors down. So that had to be bolted up and everything. Like it was a lot of work to be done. And I was like, my dad looked and he goes, you want this? I'm like, yeah. I loved it. Like Dad's built. I'm like, and even Uncle Tony and Linda were at Long Beach at the time holiday, and I'm like, I've bought the place. I'm like, well, Mark, to my dad, do you need to help your son build, like restore it? He's like, yep, yes. Get all his friends in it. Because I was young. This is before I was mugged. It was amazing. 5 bedrooms. And it was like, we're going to do 5 bedrooms. Like, well, 3 bedrooms are going to stay 3 bedrooms upstairs. Because one of those bedrooms upstairs will be the office. But the 2 bedrooms downstairs are going to be knocked out into a master bedroom. So when you walked, here was the whole thing. I can even show you photos of the place. So when you drove up like this to the driveway, okay, when you drove up into because it's built right on the hill in stilts, when you drive up to it, you've got a door straight, so you've got staircase going up this way. Right there where the staircase is, there's a door that opens up to like a basement area under the house. And there was tap fittings under the house and laundry connections. But they've put the laundry upstairs off the first level, basically when you walk in. And I was like, well, the laundry can go back down here. Makes sense because there's also an access to the outside area. So you walk in. So you walked up the staircase. You've got this nice little sort of archive. You walked into a foyer. In that foyer, you turn left, you've got this formal living room. Okay, off the formal living room, there's a little deck. Then you come back in the formal living room. Off that, there's a little hallway, a pokey, tiny hallway with 2 bedrooms. I'm like, well, I'm going to turn this into my place. This is going to be adults retreat. So there's going to be a formal living room, like a cigar lounge. I'm going to put a spa buff. Or even Rebecca Johnson, like my cousin Rebecca LeMay, and Brooke White. I don't know what her new married name is, but Brooke Johnson, Brooke's new husband, John. I know what his last name is. Anyway. Looked at it, it's like, this is you. I'm like, I know, I love it. Anyway, and I said, we're going to put a spa bath out here, like so off the formal living room will be a spa bath because we're going to be adults. Then where those 2 bedrooms are, I said, Dad, can you knock this guy? He goes, yeah, that's just stub. It's just stud board. There's no, no bearing walls. There's no bearing walls. You can actually knock this whole section out and open it up. I said, great. Walk-in wardrobe, master bedroom, and when you come back to the foyer, so there was an access to the laundry from the living room. And I said, okay, that laundry has got a toilet and a shower in it, and it's massive. It's huge. It was bigger than this bedroom. I'm like, that's my ensuite. It's master bedroom's bathroom downstairs. I'm putting the laundry downstairs, 1 level down. So this is the first floor. Then you walked up the staircase to go to the 2nd floor. And you walked into the lounge room, then the dining room, then a massive kitchen, and it overlooked the ocean. So the top floor of the place, you could see right across Umina Beach. It was stunning. I loved it. And then there was 3 bedrooms and a bathroom with a spa bath. And I was like, perfect. Nan's room, mum's room, study. That's what it was like. It was like 3 bedrooms upstairs, Nan's room, mum's room, study. It was great. Then when you open the door, like so off the other area upstairs, they had all this, it was all rock. It was all rock. It was beautiful. You know, it was the most, that's the thing when people say about when I got mugged after work, they forget what I lost. I lost that house. So I brought the place. Mum was working into the conveyancing. And just after I got the offer accepted, I got mugged after work. Got mugged. And the casino wouldn't say whether they're going to accept my job back or not. So I had to go and renege. Mum, I'm like, what do I do? Mum's like, you're going to lose your deposit. So we're going to have to say I have to renege because I've got an injury after work. And that was devastating. So when that happened, I was like, oh, fucking sell the investment property. I was like, if I didn't have the investment property, I would have had the cash to pay for this place anyway. So fucking sell, I don't want it. Like I was really pissed off because I finally brought, like I worked so hard to have this great place at the beach and I ended up being stuck in Surrey Hills. Like literally, like, and that's where I got mugged. I was like, I'm fucking stuck here. Now I couldn't believe it. I'm just sitting back, mugged after work, lost my job, lost the house I just bought. It was horrible. So when people talk about, it's like, well, what I had left in like even 2017, it's like, this is what I got left. And I literally had houses start talking about me like I got a BMW. I'm like, yeah. I also had a house at the beach and investment property and shitloads of savings and money, assets, belongings, and expensive clothing, expensive shirts. Yeah, I was on like close to 50,000 a year in my 20s, so I used to go to Voy all the time. And like, yep, Dolce & Gabbana pants, Versace shirt. No, they were wholesale. Always look great for work. Pay my mortgage, pay my way. You stopped my income. And that was horrible. So that was the most horrific experience. When you talk about losing something, it was like, well, you can talk about losing your job and what they're doing, but I just brought my dream home. I just literally brought this massive, huge house at the beach, my dream home, 52 Lentara Drive. It was just below Timbertop where my cousin Shane Johnson lived with his wife Rachel. And I literally was like devastated. I was like, well, if I wasn't mugged after work, I'll be living here on the coast. Simple. It was so, like, honestly, and I had the money to renovate it. That's the thing as well. So what I borrowed extra to renovate. Because but I haven't even got the best bit. Shit, I forgot. Downstairs. So when I talk about those 2-bedroom downstairs and there's a pokey hallway at the end of it, there's a window there at the pokey hallway, and that window can be cut through to a door. And when you open that, so if you just lift the window up, you can jump out the window. There's an actual sort of like nature-made courtyard. It was built on a cliff, on a rock, and there was literally this flat rock area. And I'm like, this is amazing. Imagine coming out here having your coffee, going upstairs. Like I was going to do a little kitchenette downstairs, but going upstairs and you're looking out your windows you're looking out across the ocean. For fuck's sakes, you're looking out across Umina Beach, like right there. It was amazing. Anyway, lost it. All because a junkie Abbo, and I don't care if you want to call me a racist, call me a racist. The guy was Aboriginal. Junkie Aboriginal decided to rob me after work. That's all it was. A smash and grab mugging after work. And I'm the person that gets defamation and discrimination. I'm told that I should be grateful. Why should I be grateful? Why should I be the one that's grateful? I'm not a drug user. I'm not a drug dealer. I didn't make my money for any criminal behaviour. I made my money for hard work and lost everything because some bastard felt entitled to rob me on my way home from work. What do I have to be grateful about? Sucking up the government's ass. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, you cunt New South Wales government. You gave me a housing commission house. All that makes up for all the money I've lost because you cunts robbed me after work. You fucking little pieces of shit. You entitled little housing commission cunt that works for housing commission. Oh, I'm so fucking grateful. Kiss your ass. Get fucked. What do I have to be grateful about? I had everything. I worked hard for it. And then, well, like, there's shit that hit the fan when I was going to buy up in Taree. It's like, and I was still getting a part salary income from Star Casino. That part salary income was classified as an income, which means I could use that to borrow against. And I still had 200,000 in the bank. So I was actually going to use the savings to pay cash for the place anyway. All I was doing was borrowing money to renovate the place with. And then Mary Ann, my mum's sister, caused big trouble. I'm like, she saw the condition report. Uncle Tony saw the condition report. And Uncle Tony looked at it. Even I was talking to the guy. It was Sheree Murphy's, like, guy that does the surveying or whatever. Anyway, up there. And she's like, oh, that's bad. That's rising damp. I'm like, no, it's not. I said, what happened is at the back of the house where you've got the brick for the foundation, and you're not supposed to build a garden up to the brick and foundation because you're meant to have airflow coming on the house. They've built up where they've covered the brick. I looked at it already. All I've got to do is go around there with a shovel, dig it out, move all the mud away from the foundation that will dry. And it's only the back of the house where the sunroom is, basically. So, which I was just going to turn into a sitting room. So, you know, another great place. I was like, oh, forget it. Like, every time I've looked at a place that's my dream, Atlantic City. It's like everyone's got to fuck it up for me. Like, you know, I look at a place first like Connecticut and going, okay, If I buy that, take it out of foreclosure, resell it on, make some money from it, I'll be able to buy where I want to be. And every time I try to do where I want to be or what I want to do in my life, someone's stopping me. And then you get people go, maybe it wasn't your time. Maybe you're not grateful enough. The fuck? Not grateful enough? Go fuck yourself. After what I've been through, go fuck yourself. Oh, let me kiss up housing commission workers' fucking ass. Oh, I'm so grateful to get a shithole fucking place after what I've lost. Oh, I'm so grateful. Kiss. Oh, get fucked, you pricks. Get fucked. Grateful? Grateful for what? I don't have anything to be grateful for.